networks. We learned about that. Then we learned about protocols. Then we learned about web server. Like whenever we are going to host a website, how can we find a web server, suitable web server for that? And then by using browser, how we can access web pages. We learned it the week before, like first week lecture. And finally, we learned about markup languages, that is HTML and XML. Continuing with that, last week, during lecture number 2, we talked about distributed system and their architecture. So we talked about standalone system and a distributed system. What is the difference? Like I pointed out, there are like 3 key points that you need to understand and you need to keep in your mind. If it's a standalone system, what is those 3 features? If it's a distributed system, what are those 3 features? Let's see who remember that. Standalone system, distributed system. I'm waiting, I'm looking at the chat window. How can we identify whether a system is a standalone system or a distributed system? 1 point. You can hear me, right? Okay. Very good, Dishan. Standalone system, they use tightly coupled technology, while distributed use loosely coupled technologies. Can you give some examples? Someone else for a tightly coupled language and for loosely coupled languages? Yes, Gunasekar. Java. Java is a tightly coupled language. .NET, very good. Loosely coupled? Yes, very good. Yes, Shanal, HTML, CSS, loosely coupled. Madhusha said JavaScript, yes. Keshani, HTML, PHP, yes, very good. HTML, PHP, okay. Yes, very good. Okay, now that is only 1 feature. No? We discussed about 3 features, right? Standalone system and distributed system. When it comes to network, yes, Shanal, we does not need network. When it's a standalone system, no network, right? Yes, Gunasekar, yes, you also saying the same thing. Very good. Do not need a network connection. But a distributed system, we need some kind of network. Very good. 3rd point. All the components are executed in single device run. Very good. Yes, Shanal. Computers are scattered or distributed. Very good. So you were all in last week lecture, right? Okay. Well done. Then we talk about main concepts of web, right? What are the main concepts of web? And then we talk about e-commerce systems, right? How a e-commerce system can be benefited for a customer, how it's benefited for a like shop owner, right? So what are the different advantages and disadvantages? We discuss all those things. And then we say, in order to do this interconnection between this e-commerce system, we use a thing called HTML form, right? Now forms, there are 2 methods that we can use to send data. What are those 2 methods? 2 methods. Come on, student. Every day, like almost every day, only these few students are the one who are, yes, Damindu, very good. Get and post. Yes, 2 methods that we have with form is are get and post. Yes, yes, okay, yes, Surat, yes. Okay. So when you're sending replies, you can send it to everyone, right? That is better. Okay, no need to send like direct message to me. If you send it to everyone, then everyone can see that, right? Okay, get and post. So default method is get, but if we specifically want to send some secure data, or if you want to send file, Or if you want to send images, we use post, right? Okay. What is the difference between get and post? If we use get, what will happen to the data? Data will display on the URL. But if you use post, you can't see any data displaying on the URL, right? Good. Then I told you that I will add this assignment kind of thing to course web for you to do it as a homework. But fortunately for you, unfortunately for me, I couldn't do that. So I want, shall we do it now? This is the form that I want us to try out. Right now we know how to create input fields. You can see the form, right? Now this is a form that should be filled by a online, to book an online taxi, you have to fill this one, right? Okay, so you have this customer detail, then you have input fields, customer name, customer phone number, email, pickup address. So these three fields, top three fields, students, those are text boxes, just text boxes. If you want to have like a paragraph kind of thing, like a lot of like more description, then what you can enter in a text box, we can use text area. We call this one text area. Right? So what you can do, yes, either you can do it on your editor or you can do it on W3 School editor. Right? But with your editor, I think you can easily do that one. Shall we start doing this one? Let's see who is going to finish this one. Who are the fastest and who are the let's say, who are going to be the software engineers, like the coding genius, right? Shall we start this one? Okay, now time is 2:45, right? Okay, let's start this one. You don't have to worry about these lines and everything. I just want you to create this form. So you have to start with form. You have to start with HTML, obviously, HTML, then inside your body, you are going to create this form, right? There are different sections here. To create this section, you need to use a tag called legend, right? Tag called legend. So you can start that one. I'll show you how we can use this legend tag, right? Okay. Okay. Truly a gift from God. Okay, Isha. It's not clear about what are you talking about. Is it a web form or e-commerce system? Under no homework. Okay. 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 Now you can do it. Okay. We all can do it at the same time, right? So once you finish with that one, you can copy it and paste it onto Wrapper so that I can see it. Right? Let's see who are the fastest 5 people going to do this one. Okay, so this is how you can have that legend, right? To have that small box kind of thing. So if you say legend, whatever the title you want to display on top of that particular box, this now here we are going to display customer details, and then you close that legend. So inside that you can have all of your details, right? Okay, let me show you the output, actual output that I want. So what I actually want is something like this. Okay, can you see this? Okay. So online taxi, we have customer details. So first box, inside first box, we have customer name, customer phone number, email. So 3 text boxes are there. Then we have text area. So once you click here, you can see this field is required. And I hope you remember that we discussed that, right? How we can make a input field a mandatory field in HTML5. How we can do that, we discussed that. So you can have that run as well. So that is your first box. So once you finish your first box, you can go to second one, that is your vehicle detail. There you have a drop down where you can select your vehicle type, whether it's air conditioned or not, with driver or without driver. Now here it's a drop down. Here it's a option button. Then here we have check boxes. Then third box we have trip date. So you need to have a date picker like this, right? You can select it, and then time picker like this. Okay. So that's all you have to do. Right. Quickly. Let's see. Okay, I'll share the slides again. Okay. Right. 5 minutes is already gone. We have another 10 minutes. So it's like this. Let's say you can't remember or you were not there on the last week lecture, but still just don't give up. Try to do whatever you can do. Let's say you can't, you don't know how to have this drop down, or you don't know how to have this option, but you know how to create this text boxes. So do that one, do that part. That's okay. We are here to learn, right? Okay. Whatever you can do, do it. Just do not give up. Oh, I can't do this one. Okay, it has 3 boxes with so many content. I can't do that. Don't have that attitudes, right? You can do it. You are going to do it. It's not that difficult. Only thing is you just have to start doing it. Right. We have another 5 minutes. Anyone able to finish this one? Okay. Anyone? How far you managed to finish this one? First box with text boxes and text area. Are we there? No. Okay. Yes, Sankalpa, yeah. We are there, right? Then vehicle type. Okay. Let me, since vehicle type half, very good. Okay. Okay, do you need more time? Got stuck. Okay, that's fine. You got stuck because you tried. Yes, that's totally fine. Okay. Do you want another 5 minutes to try it out, or shall I explain it one by one? Okay. How can you make this pickup address text box bigger? Okay. Let's just give me a second. I'm trying to find a good what you call online editor with good color so that it will be look nice. Then I explain it to you. Okay, this. Okay. Shall we look at this one by one? Okay, wait. I'll share the screen with you. Okay. So you all can see my screen, right? Okay. Now we started with HTML tag. Okay, thank you, Sankalpa. Then head, we have our title, right? That is student registration. So whatever you entered as title of your page, that is what you can see here, right? This is the title of your page here. So all these things are title of this page. So what is the title of the page that I am in? That is HTML editor online web content composer. So that is now in our page, title is student registrations, right? Then we close our head. Now here with body, forget about this part. I added that part because all the content were like left aligned. So just to push it for this side, I added this one. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So our first box, that is online taxi. So you can use H1, H2, H3, whatever the size that you prefer for your title. You can use anyone. Here I used H3. Then we have our form, right? Now we have to have form. Now here I mentioned method as post, right? But it can be get. But if you don't mention any method in your form, student, what will happen is it take method as get. So default method is get. So even if you do not mention any method on your form, it will get the default method get, right? But if you specifically want to have this content to use the post method, then you have to mention the method. But mention get also no harm, but if you do not mention this one here, still that form get the default method as get, right? So there can be some MCQ questions like given something like this, right? Is this correct? Right? Because there's no method, so it's correct, right? Even though there's no method, that means the default method get, it already takes, right? We can either specifically mention it as get, method is get, or we can just keep it like this. Both way it works, it's correct, right? Now let's say for me, I want this to be on post, so we can have it like this, post, right? Then this field set means like if you want to divide your page into different sections, you can use field set code, right? So this my first field set is my first box, right? So I open it, field set, I close it here, right? Right. This legend is what I earlier explained, right? This box kind of thing, customer detail, this box, this is the legend, right? Okay. Then we have our customer name, first one. So you can have it with P tag, right? Even without that P tag also it works, right? You can have it even without P tag, right? If you have it with P tag, it gives you a height, right? It gives you a height, but if there's no P tag involved, there's no height. So we'll keep P tag there. Right? So you start with P tag, you have your customer name. Let's make it something like this, colon. So you can see the right side, whenever, whatever I'm doing the changes on the left side, right side it changes, right? You can see, okay. Right, so the first one is a text box, input type is text. And then ID of that text box is STY number, we can have name. Name is first name of that input, right? So whenever we are reading the user inputs, yes, Damika, we can use label tags. Yes. So here we can. Okay, what happened? Okay, here instead of P, we can have label, and we can close label here. That's also correct. The good thing with label is, according to your requirement, this label, different label, you can give different font sizes, different styles, all those things you can give with label tags, right? So having label tag, that's also correct. You can have it with P tag, that's also correct. Even without any tag, if you have this customer name, still HTML works, but the format doesn't look good, right? So either use P tag or use label tag, right? Okay, so the name that you are given to this one, this text box, that is very important, right? Because, like I said, once we complete this form, the client or the user has to submit this form. So once the user submit this form, it should redirect to some other page, right? So in that page, we are going to read the values that user entered here. For an example, if someone entered Sahan here, right? So if someone entered Sahan here, okay. If someone enters Sahan here, that value, the person's customer name is Sahan. So we have to capture that value. In order to do that, we need to give a name to this input box. Now here, in our case, the name that we are given to it is first name, F name, right? Okay, so type is text. ID, you can either have it or you don't need to have ID. We are going to discuss more about these IDs, why we need to give IDs and name to input field later when we learn about JavaScript. For the time being, let's learn about name. And required means user cannot submit this form without giving value to this particular text box. So we give that required there. Clear? Okay. So now input box, input, actually this order has to be input type equal text, name is F name and request. So if you change this order, instead of type here, if you have name here or ID here, there, it doesn't matter, it works. But a good practice, the best way to do it is input, first tag has to be input type, name and request. So this one interchange, I think because I changed something here, according to that it's changed, right? Okay. Now first field, it's clear. Is it clear how to add a text field? Now this is very important for your final practical. You are supposed to create user registration form, user login form, details update, everything is form. So you need to have a very good understanding on how to create form, how to validate using inputs, right? You need to know all these things very clearly, right? Okay. Then second one, we have customer number, phone number, right? Okay. Okay, here. Let's have this one. Customer name, label. So have them each and everything underneath, like one line, one content, like this. Label, input type. Then let's say we are having label here. Then close label here, one line. Then input type is text, second one, that is the customer phone number, to get the customer phone number. So there are also this editor seems a bit annoying. Okay, let me type it here. Input type equal text. Phone number also a required field. So you have to have required. So you can see this required thing. You just say required. Just like that, required. Right? It works. Then for email, same way. Okay. But type, input type equal email. If it's an email, it's not just text. Input type, you have to mention it as email. That is because once you enter the email address, like its type is email, because it knows it's like there are some valid email address, right? You need to have one at sign, one dot, right? So at need to be come before dot. So there are formats that you can create email addresses. So if you mention type as email, your user cannot enter something other than email address. Like you cannot enter digital values, like you can just type numbers, you can just type whatever you want, you can't do that, right? So that is why we have this input type as email. Okay, now I think input types, input text is clear. So pickup address. So like I said, if you want to add a paragraph or kind of big description, we can't use text for that. For that, we need a thing called text area, right? Okay. Let me okay. Okay, here text area, right? And text area, right? So this text area, student, you can say how many rows you need or how many columns. Now here it's like 50 rows and 3 columns, right? I'll share my screen. Now here it's 50 rows and 3 columns. Let's say I want to have a bigger one than this. Then I increase this one 150 columns. See? Then if I change this one to, let's say, 12 rows. So the height changes, right? Now it's 12 rows and 150 columns. So according to your requirement, you can change the size of your text area. Right? Okay, now that is it. Okay, now first box. Now we know how to do that and we are clear with that. Are we clear with that? Text, input type text, input type email, input and text area. Are we clear with that? Can we move on to the drop down one? Can you complete this part? Yes, good. Can you complete this one? Okay, complete it. We have only 3 text boxes and 1 text area. Right? Already completed, very good. Name part, okay. Name part is like, now here, once we create this form, we ask users or clients to enter their name. Let's say now I fill this one with my name, Dilan, right? Then what is the purpose of having this form? You want to read the user input values. You want to read these details, right? You want to store them in a database. Let's say now I entered. Okay, this is wrong. That is not my phone number. Okay, right. Okay. Then let's say pickup address. We have to enter something as pickup address. Okay. So once we entered all these details, right? Once someone entered these details, let's say I am the one who's doing this online tax service. I need to read this one. So once you submit this one, I have to read these values. So how I can read this one? Now, to read them, I am giving like each these text boxes, I am given names, right? So this customer name input box, the name is here, F name. Right? With this F name, that F name, value of this F name is equal to Dilani. Value of this F name equals to Dilani. Then value of this phone, value of this phone equal to this mobile number I entered here. So we need to have a unique names for each and every input fields in our form, because once the customer entered these details, by using these name values, we are going to read them. So when we say first name from first customer, it will print out Dilani. Name for first customer, it will print out this phone number. So having name is very important. Having unique names for each input field is very, very important, right? Because if you have name as F name for this one, and then for the phone also by mistake, you mention it as F name. Then once the customer enter details, you say first one you read F name, right? So once you say F name for this, this one and this one, both you are giving name as F name. So the system get confused which F name you are referring to, right? So it will give you a runtime error. So in that case, you have to make sure that you are giving different unique names for each and every input fields you have, right? I hope it's clear now why we need to have names. Okay. Right. So first box that is there, then vehicle details. Now when you come to vehicle details, it's a drop down, right? So this is how you create a drop down. So you have select, open and select, close. So you can have select name as student name, right? Okay. Then for each and every value that you have on your drop down, you need to have options. So first option, second option, third option. Let's say you have 10 drop downs, then you have to have 10 option values, right? Now here we have 3. In our file, we have 3. So option value. Now this, what you see in between these options, that is what you display here. Right? So what you can see inside these two option tags is what you can display here. What you mention as value of this one here, that is what you read it as the value of this. Right? Let me explain it again. Let's say you select Jeep. You select Jeep as vehicle type. When I read it, when I read the input type, how I do that is I say value of student name. Value of student name. So student name is the drop down. Then I read the value of student name. So what is the value you select as student name? So here actually it has to be vehicle type. No, my bad. Vehicle type. So what is the value of vehicle type? So you can see, users can see these ones, but as value of this one, I am reading this one. So it can be either Jeep, bus, car, or it can be just 1, 2, 3. It does not have supposed to be, or it is not mandatory for it to be the value of it and the display one has to be equal. There is no need of that, right? So if I read the vehicle type value as 2, I am the one who's creating this page and the admin of this one. I know that person selected G. If the value of vehicles type is 3, I know it's bus. If the value of vehicle type is 1, I know it's car, right? So what you have to remember, student, what we mention in between these option tags, it's only for displaying purpose, for this page to display, but the actual work, actual value of this one carries with this value tag, right? If you say the vehicle type value of the first customer is 2, right? In this case, or else we can have it like this. So you may be wondering why we can't just have the value and the name equally, because it's simple. Why this? Why we are just making this complicated, right? So yes, it's obvious in this case. But let's say for the value, something we have something is this car is faster, Jeep is bus is too big. Then yes, so we can't have like values as this kind of sentence, right? So in this case, we can't have it like this. So that's why sometimes what we display as option button and the actual value of that option buttons are different. That is the reason, right? So all these things are like, you can create like 100 of MCQs only with the parts that I covered today, right? Right. So you need to have a very clear understanding on these HTMLs and the places where we use them, how to use them correctly, right? Okay. So drop down, first you have select and then you close select. See, your select close, in between you have your options. So that is also another input type. Then we have option buttons, right? Now, option buttons, now let's say like we have 10 radio buttons, 10 radio buttons. How many you can select? If it's a radio button, how many buttons you can select? If it's a radio button, how many? Only one. You can select only one. So it doesn't matter how many radio buttons you have, right? It doesn't matter how many radio buttons you have. The name of that radio button has to be same. Name of that radio button has to be same. Because we are selecting only one, if you say the value of AC, only one can get selected, right? So the name, so you have to remember this one. If you have radio buttons in one particular field, the name of that radio button has to be same. But you can have like IDs, you can have difference, right? But values, you have different values. Now here, with AC or without AC, the name is same. Value is, first one is, if someone select first one, AC value is AC. If someone select next second one, AC value is no AC. Let's say, do we have, we can't have another options like this, right? Let's say something with the 4 option buttons not related to this one. Now, let's say like number of subjects. That's something like this, number of subjects. Not related to this one. I just want you to explain when there are more option buttons, how you can handle it, right? So first one, let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So first one is 4 subjects, second one is 5 subjects, third one is 6 subjects, final one is 7 subjects. Right? Now you can see the name of these option buttons all are same, but values are different, and then you have required with each, so you must select value. Now here you have, okay, let me remove breaks so that it will come in one line. Okay, can you see 4, 5, 6, 7, but you can select only one. If you select 7, value is number of subject, value is 7. So if you select 6, number of subjects are 6. If you select 5, number of subjects are 5. If you select 4, number of subjects are 4. Right? Okay. Now tricky part comes with checkboxes. Right? Tricky parts comes with checkboxes. We are going to learn that later, how we can read this checkbox value, because like checkboxes, we have multiple selections, right? So in checkboxes, you can have multiple selection with same name, but here you can select only one, so that's easy, straightforward. But checkboxes, you have to do some like inside the for loop, you have to check that one. For the time being, what you have to remember is for a checkbox, type is checkbox, value like here with driver, without, with tour guide. Let's have another one. No, choose one. So someone only with driver, someone prefer only with driver, someone say I want a driver and tour guide as well. So these two values are selected. So in that case, how we can read that one? Right? We are going to learn that one later once we learn about for loops and all. But for the time being, what you have to remember is here for the input type checkboxes also name equals driver. Name has to be same, right? So checkboxes, option buttons, name of that particular one has to be same, right? Drop downs, you know the values and what actually displays can be different, it doesn't matter, right? Are we, can you complete the second part? So I think you will learn more about these things in your lab sessions. Yes, then it will be more clear to you. Okay. So third one, date, actually, like there, if you mention the input type as date, you can get the date here. Like if you say your input type is date, you can get the calendar here. If you mention your input type as time, you can get the timeline here, right? Because this ID, this is something that we given to it, right? So the name is the name of that date. Now here the name has to be start date. Here the name has to be end date. Right? Then you have your two input type buttons, submit and reset. Forget about the reset button. You need to have that one. So that is basically everything about a form. Not that difficult, right? So once we learn JavaScript, we are going to read these input values in separate page. How we can read these ones with this name tag. For the time being, what you need to understand and what you need to do is how to create form and how to have these input fields correctly. So that's what you need to do right now. Okay. So I hope it's clear, right? Okay, so complete this one and bring it next day when you are coming so we can check this one, right? Okay. Okay, let's move on to today's lecture. Right. Now, we learn about HTML. Now we know basic things, all the basic things that we need to develop a web page. Now we know it, right? Then, so hereafter, like we are not going to learn any further about HTML, no more further HTML tags and all, right? That doesn't mean that what we learned throughout these lectures, that is all about HTML. If you go to W3 School, you can see various new, various tags that we didn't discuss in the class, but there are so many HTML tags that you can use to create a website. There are many. We have many interactive items. So you are free to use any of these HTML tags. The thing is that we don't have enough time to teach you all those HTML tags. That's why we are not doing them all. But you are free to use any HTML tag on your project, on your work, right? Okay. Now we have all the contents like this, right? But if we just have like set of content in a page, will it look good, right? If we have just paragraph, image and everything, but we are just placing it one after another, do you think it's like user will be interact with that? It's not. So with HTML, we use CSS, that is styling part, right? To decorate or format that content. So we can move things here and there, we can add different colors. Actually, the adding colors also, it comes under CSS, even though we learn a bit with HTML, right? So adding colors, having borders, and then having background, having different font sizes, right? Font colors, all these things are done with CSS. Okay. So who is she? Can you see the screen? Who is she? Can you identify who is she? Who she is, girls? No? Yes, Anushka Sharma, right? Okay. You know her, right? Okay. Yes. Same, right? This is also Anushka Sharma, but different outfit. Look is bit different, right? Okay. This, of course, that is Anushka Sharma, but the dress and everything is different, right? Totally different look, right? Okay. This, who is she? is she? Yes, that is also Anushka. So this is actually what is a website with CSS, right? So websites with HTML, it's same, like Anushka is Anushka herself. But with CSS, the way that we apply styles, the way that we use different colors, we can give different looks. So this is ultimately what it looks like when you are submitting your final projects, right? We can have projects like this, there are projects like this, and there are some projects like this, and there is some project like this. So the same person, same set of HTML, with the way that you apply your styles, the styling, you can create totally different output, right? So that is the purpose of having CSS students, because like if we just have the web pages or web content as it is, right, it's not user friendly. So according to your taste, according to your choices, right, the way that you apply CSS on your web page differs. The same way that Anushka uses different styles and come up with totally different looks, right? It's the same way. So advantages with CSS is that if you have CSS, it's very easy for you to modify, right? The loading will be faster and sites look very like look and feel it. The UI looks very glamorous with HTML, or it could be other way around. Right? So it's totally up to you. So appliance is like making something quite beautiful. That is something actually like you can see, like when someone create a web page or when someone draw a picture, like according to their choices or according to their taste, the final outcome can change. So I can't say all your websites should be like in, like, let's say with blue background and white fonts, right? So I can't say that. So it's different. So each one of you can have your own styles and your own taste. So you can use it. Right. So now, apart from that, Anushka's example, the same thing happens here actually. Now here, without CSS, the right side one, you can see only the content, right? We can have this logo image and then this set of contents here, right? So just one after another. That's all. But the right color one, you can see it with a very good background color with clear fonts and these buttons and all, right? You can see this one with a good background color. So which one you prefer? First one or second one? Obviously, it's the second one, right? So now I think it's clear. Now having a good CSS in our website is very important, right? You can use Dreamweaver. There's a question about Dreamweaver. You can use Dreamweaver, but I do not recommend, because Dreamweaver is kind of, you know, like outdated now. Okay. Am I going? Okay. Right. Now, like I said, to apply CSS on your project or your files, you need to know HTML better, right? Now, earlier we learned about how to add H1 tag, right? H2 paras and everything. Now we are going to decorate them. So how you can do that? So now here, this is your H1 tag, right? So once you have your H1 tag, before you closing that H1 tag, you can have the declaration or the property of this font. So the color, that is the font color. The font color, it's just, we are just mentioning it as color. Now it's blue. Font size, you can mention the value here. Right? So I think some of these parts actually we did last week, right? And remember during the quiz also we did something like that, the text, the font color, background color, all those things. I think you're a little bit familiar about this. Let's see further. Okay. Okay. Shall we try this one? Okay. Take new HTML page, and let's say now here I have my background color as light blue. I want you to have anything as your background color, right? Then I need to have a title. I want to align your text to center, and then in my P tag, now here it says this is a paragraph. I want you to say my name is whatever and I am from wherever. You have to mention that. Right? So, okay. So you can do pretty much same, or you can try how to add background, background color. Yes, background color. You can have whatever background color you want. Shall we try this one by your own? Okay, so I'll show you how to edit this one. I think so how we are going to do that is, first you create your HTML page, right? In your HTML page, you have your body. Body. Then there, I ask you to have let's say H3, close H3, and you have your para. Right now, this is now this is my HTML page. We know how to do this one. Now, how we can add CSS style to this one is here. Remember the head tag we discussed, but we didn't discuss what are the things that we are going to add inside our head. Remember? Okay. Now, when you add style or CSS to your web page, you have to start it with style tag, right? Style open, style close. Right? That is where you are adding your CSS. Inside your head tag, style open, style close. Now here, what I ask you to do, body background color is light blue. So there I say body, open brace, background color light blue. Then I say H1 font color need to be white and text should be aligned to center. Now here, since I am just using Notepad, I don't have any editor. It don't suggest anything, but with the editor, I think it suggests. You can easily suggest things, but it's good if you can do it with Notepad, so that in that case you remember all these things, right? Let's say color red, text align center. That is from H3 tag. Then for P tag, para tag, I say font family and font size. Okay, let's say 50 pixels. Okay. So this is how, student, you apply styles to your page. So first you have your HTML page, HTML content inside your body. You have paragraph, you have H3 for title, and then you have body, right? So now with our styling, what we do is we add, for this body we say take the background color, make it light blue. For H3, the color, font's color should be red. Text, all the H3 text should be aligned to center. That means now here we have one H3. Let's say we have another H3 here also. Let's say that is title 2, and then let's say we have like 10 paragraph here. all these 10 paragraphs, anyone with this P tag get this style. Right, so normally font size of P tag is 12 pixels, but in our style, we say in our CSS, we say font size of this P tag, make it 15. And then let's say color, let's say orange. So font color of all of these para tags, it become orange, right? So this is how you can apply styles into your HTML pages. Anyone finish this one? Anyone able to finish this one? So I think now it's clear. In order to have a good CSS on your pages, right, you need to know how to code HTML. Once you know the HTML code only, you can add styles to that particular HTMLs. Now you see here with this, there's a problem. Let's say I only want to have red color font, orange color font only on this para. But if I give that color, the font color orange to P, all these paras get that one. But I only need one paragraph in orange color. So what can we do? Can you think of a way to do that? Anyone able to finish this one and run it? Yes, Damita. We can style to relevant line. Yes, here let's say I only have this one. I need, what I can do, I can say P style. Inside that I can say color orange. That's it. And let's say I have another option. This one also. So I have it there. Right. So if it's a common feature for all the paras, if it's a common change for all the paragraph values, you can have it there as common. But if it's only for this particular paragraph, you want to have this change. Let's say here you other paras you want to have them in green color, but only this one you need it in orange color. So you can have it like this. So in that case, you don't need to have this one because all the paras gonna get this font size 15. So if you are going to, if you need something else for your this selected para, you can have different font size. But if you also need this size, you can have it. Let's say you want to have font size something a little bit bigger than this one, then you can have it this. Now students, having styles like this in the same line, we call them inline styles. We call them inline styles. Having styles here separately, but inside the same file, we call them internal styles. Right? Inline style, internal style. Right? Okay. So there are so many formatting categories that you can apply CSS. You can position it, you can size it, you can align it, right? You can have background colors, you can have borders, you can have background images. There are so many things that you can do with CSS. So this is pretty interesting. When you are applying CSS onto your web page, it's interesting, right? You can have different colors and all. Right. Now, like I said, if we have it like this, that is inline styling. If we have it like this, like style open, style close inside the head tag of the same page, it's internal styling. And then there's another one, external styling. Now it's clear why we need inline styling and internal style sheets. That's also clear. Why we need external style sheets? Something externally. We are getting styles from external style sheet. Can you think of the reason why we need that? Any reason? Any reason to have external style sheet? Yes, very good, Nimdara. So we can apply them to all the web pages. Very good. Brilliant students I have in this class, right? Yes. Now, since if you're going to have, like, let's say 20 pages, with that 20 pages, you are going to have the same set of styles, right? So, like, if you are going to have all these styles in 20 pages, instead of that, what we can do is we can have one external style sheet and we can refer to that. What are the benefits we are getting from that? We have to edit only one file. Right? Now, in this case, if we have the internal style, we have to edit all those 20 files. Now, what you need to understand is, students, yes, okay, Damindu, yes, it's easy to do changes. Sankalpa, yes, we can place all the CSS inside that HTML file and we can use that external CSS. Very good. What you need to understand clearly is where to use internal style sheet, where to use inline styles, and where to use external style sheet, right? If some things are common, if some styles we are going to apply the whole project, every page, like a whole project, we are going to apply this set of styles, let's say, we can have it external. If we have some set of styles that we are going to apply only for some particular items inside that particular page, we are going to have it as internal style. If we are going to apply some style only to that one particular item, we are going to have it as inline style, right? I hope it's clear why we need these three types of different styles. These external styles, students, even we can have something on the web also as our style sheet. Like for I think you heard about Bootstrap, right? So it's already exists free style sheet that you can use. So you can link to that one and you can use the styles available there in your websites, right? But unfortunately for your project, you can't use anything, right? You can't use any external style sheets. You have to write your own. You can't use Bootstrap or anything externally, right? Okay. Okay. Do you need a break? Today we don't have any quizzes because it's today we are going to do all throughout the lecture. There are so many coding things I want you to have hand-on practice. So there's no time for quizzes. We can take a little break, like 5-minute break maybe. 4 o'clock you can come. Meanwhile, you can try this one. Now I have this H1 tag with my timetable. I want you to apply these rules to this element above. Like you can have internal styles or you can have inline. Shall we try this one? Yes, I'll upload the lecture slides. I'll upload the lecture slides. Shall we try this one? Either you can take a break or you can try this one and paste it, or you can just send me the code through the chat. Yes, actually, the things that we discussed last week regarding these text color alignments and all these things, actually, those are CSS itself, right? Yes, that is not HTML. I just want you to have some like interactive things with HTML. That's why I added those things, right? Those are like styles. HTML, yes, like if you use the style tag, like HTML alignments and all, text colors and all, like you can't have text colors with HTML. With style tag, you can have them, right? Having style tag with the HTML component, that means it's a CSS. Okay, we have one. Okay, I can't see your name. What's this? Sankat. Okay, you have name, ID. Yes, very good. It's correct. But we still didn't cover this part, how we can add IDs and have it like this, right? So instead, you can just have H1, right? H1. Now, according to this example, H1 color and all those things, you can have it there. Okay. But the reason why we have three fonts is, like, if that particular Chrome has Tahoma, use it. If not, use Geneva. If not, use sans serif. That's why we have three fonts. We are giving options, right? Anyone else able to finish that? Okay, Sean. Perfect answer, Ishan. Well done. So it has internal style. Ishan has internal style because he has his style on top of his page inside the head, and you have H1 here. So once you run this one, you have my timetable, text align center. This is the color Ishan gave to it, right? So font family, one from either of these, font size like this. Very good. So same thing, you can just copy and paste it here so that you can have it as inline styles, right? So this is our inline style, right? This is our internal style. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Shana. Okay. Let's run it and see. That's very good. So Shenal has body background color given, and then H1 different color, text align to center, different font family. And then for P tag, he gives the color as yellow, text align center, and different font family. Right? So this is his HTML code. This is his style code. Well done. Who else? We have Heshan's one, we have Shenal's one, and there's another one, right? Okay, Ishan. Girls, come on. Do we have girls out of this 83? Do we have any girls? Okay. Girls must be taking rest, right? Okay. I'll ask them to take a rest now. Okay. Now, if you do it with me during the lecture and then during the lab, there's like you don't need any additional time to study and remember all these stuff, right? You can just directly do your project table, right? So it's very easy when you are doing it with me the same time, and not only for this subject but for the other subjects as well, because since you have now I think 4 or 5 subjects to do, right? So most of them you have coding. If you're going to postpone it and going to do it later, you're going to watch this lecture later and I'm going to do that one, that later probably that later never comes, right? So it's the best thing that if you can do it during the best thing is do it during the lecture. Okay, we have Senara. I would like to believe that it's Senara, right? Okay. Senara, yes. So, yes. Thank you. Good. Now this is correct. Okay. So others, do you have any issues with this one? So I think you can see this records of these few students who did it, right? So if you have any questions or any difficulties doing this one, you can ask it. If not, we can move forward. Actually, we have quite a few slides to do. Okay. So the same thing, if you have it inline, you can have it like this, right? If you have it as internally, like almost all of you have done, the way that you did it, it's correct, right? Okay, now, best way to have styles, if you are let's say web genius, if you are a web genius, normally you have very less inline styles, right? So because having inline styles are not recommended, because like if you are going to have internal style, like each and every element different style, it's not going to work, right? If you are going to change that one, it's very difficult. So the best way to apply style is as an external style sheet. That means you have all the common styles in one place, right? That is the best way. Second one is internal style sheet. You can have it as an internal style sheet. That's also okay. Third one, and very least advised one, is the inline style. We are going to do it only if there's no choice, right? Okay, then you must be wondering how we can do that. We can do that with this ID and classes, right? Let's see how we can do this. So this inline part we covered, internal part I think we covered. Okay. So far, we talk about how we can add style by element H1, P, and E, right? But let's say there are some styles that I want to apply on some H1 tags and some para tags and some H3 tags as well. It's the same style for that H3 para tag and H1 tag. So in that case, how I can manage it? So that is the place where this ID and class comes, right? So we can have styles with ID and we can have styles with class. If we given an ID, style ID, we mention it as hash, and if it's a class, it's with dot. Let's see. Okay. Now, here we have a link ahref www.slit.lk visit slit A. So this is just one link with anchor tag. For that A tag, we are having style here. We are asking to make the color of it to this code. Now this is a style by element, internal style. Clear? Okay. Okay. This is our output. So all the A tags that we have in this particular page will take this color, right? Okay. That is internal style by element. Now we can use the ID attribute for the element in the body. So that ID should be unique. Now remember that when we are doing that form, we notice some tags with ID, right? You must be wondering what is the purpose of this ID, right? Now here I have para tag, paragraph, my paragraph, and clause in that paragraph, right? Now let's say I have 12 paragraphs in my page. Only for this paragraph, only for 2 or 3 paragraphs, I need to add this different color. So like we learned earlier, what we can do is we can write inline styles. But like I said, we are not recommending having inline style. Instead of doing that, what we can do is we can give this ID, unique ID to that particular para. So here PID equal para main. For that ID, so if it's an ID, if that attributes is ID, in your style, you have to mention hashtag. In your styles, you have to mention hashtag and name of that ID. So para main, you are giving this one this color, right? For only for this particular paragraph, you are giving different color, right? But what you have to remember is once you use ID in one place, you cannot use it again, right? Now, like I said, let's say I have 3 paras. I need to have the same style, but I can't use ID because ID is unique. I can only use it once in my HTML page. So what can I do? Yes, Satish, very good. Then we comes with the content called class. Since this ID is only for one particular thing, right? ID is unique. It has to be used only at one place. If you have like multiple paragraphs or multiple H1 tags, multiple different tags to use this particular style, we can use class, right? Okay. Now here we have this with ID, right? Here we have P. ID is equal to para main my paragraph. So this para main color is this. Okay. Can you try this one? The same thing. Now I want this para main, this my paragraph, to have font size 28 pixel. Font size 28 pixel and color and background color white. No, it's default, it's white. Okay, background color black. Can you try this one? Now I think it's clear, right? We have 3 paras here. Only for this first para, I need to have this different style. In order to do that, I give ID tag, ID para main only for that particular para. Then on top, inside the style, starting with hashtag, I mention the ID of this para, and then I can give the styles. Shall we have that particular set of styles to this para? Color is this, background color is black, font size is 28 pixel. Font size 28 pixel. Background is red. Color. So these color codes, those are hexadecimal values. You can get those values from online or even with W3 Scholar also. The color palette is there. Quickly, try this. Okay. While you're trying that, Okay, so output of this one. So this second para and third para, since there's no differences in para tag, they are not taking any different styles. But the first para, it has this ID para main. To para main, I'm saying to take this different color. So it take that red color. Okay, so background has to be black, right? Background is black. Okay. Okay. So like I said, there can be multiple elements belongs to the same class, right? There can be multiple elements belong to the same class. Like if you want to have like same style into two, like here, this example. Right? Now here I have one para and two anchor tags, right? Two anchor tags. Then I want to have like, okay, without saying that, can you tell me the output of this one? So if it's by paragraph, first paragraph, will it take any of these styles? Will it? My paragraph, will it take any of these styles? Senara says no. What about others? What do you think? Nimthara also says no. Second one. Second, like first Google one. What will be the font size of it? And what will be the color of it? Yes, 12 pixel, first one, blue, very good. Second one, color is? Yes. Second one, color is red, yes, very good. Okay. Okay, now let me give you another example. I think that is too easy, no? Okay, let me Okay, now this one. Wait, let me. Okay. So first title, what would be the styles that it takes? What would be the color of it? Okay. First H3. Okay, it's red. Yes, correct. Second H3. Second title, what would be the color of it? Will it be green? Yes. Okay. First para, what would be the color of it? What would be the color of it? Purple, black, black, black. Yes, it would be default, right? Default color is black. Good. Next para, my name is Dilani. Next para, what would be the color of it? This one. Purple. Very good. It's purple. Okay. Last one. Tricky one. What would be the color of this one? Purple or red? Purple or red? Some of you say it's purple, some of you say it's red. Okay. Now let me do something like this. Now what would be the color of it? What would be the color? I remove this one, right? We can't have two IDs in one place. What would be the color of this third H3? Okay, purple, green, sad face. There's no color, sad face. Green. Okay. Shall we quickly try this and see? Take a file and then only have this new new line ID with only with color you can have it, and then H3 and have this one and see what it gives. It's interesting. With this example, actually everything about this styling and everything, yeah, everything you can understand with only with this example. Everything covers here. Once you got this one, then that's it. Let's see who will come up with the correct answer. H3 class is equal new class, ID is equal new line. What would be the color? Okay. Okay. I can't see your name. It's only OG. OG. Only OG is there. OG. Okay. Did you try this one and get this green? Or you're just assuming? You tried. Okay, good. Others? Ishan says purple. Did you try it, Ishan? Senara, did you try it? Yes, first it gets confused actually what to use, but there's an order. Like there's an order when we are using CSS to follow, right? Yes. So the correct answer is green, right? So it's like this, student, right? First, it checks like H3 is done, it's green. H3, that is the common one, it's red. First it's thinking, okay, now I am red. Then it sees, first comes the common tag, then come the class, then come the ID. So the IDs are the priority number one tag. If something is given an ID, and for that particular ID, if you are given separate styles, that is the priority number one, right? Then priority gives to the class, because with that class, some common elements are given that particular style. Then goes to the tag, H3 tag, right? Then go to the default common value. So the priority levels goes from ID, class, element, common. Clear? Okay, I hope it's clear. So the ID is the most like priority number one, right? Okay. Okay, so then let's move on to the external one. So like I said, like having it internally, it's very easy to modify. Because for the whole site, we have only one style sheet externally. That's only we need to edit. So it's easy. It's faster load. Like if we have separate style for each and every page, it takes some time to load. But if you have like one separate file for like our style sheet, the loading time, it reduces, right? Fast loading. Okay. So if you have your CSS files inside your HTML, like we practiced here, we can have it in between style tag. But if you have an external file as CSS, what you can do is you can save it. You can save it as .css file, right? You can save it as .css file. Let's say this one, I'm going to have this one as a style sheet, desktop, style sheet .css. Right? I'm going to save it there. So once I have my external style sheet as style sheet.ss, I do not have to have style tag there. Right now, this one is my separate style sheet, right? Okay, now can you see style sheet? It's a cascading style sheet. CSS means cascading style. Now I have my style sheet separately outside the paper, right? Now, when I want to refer to that one, this is how I refer to it, right? In my HTML page, this one, right? In my HTML page, inside my head tag, I have to give path to that external file. Now, name of my external file is style.css. So it's link rel equal style sheet, right? href, we can put where it placed style sheet dot css. Right now here, this is my index file. Now in my index file, I say there's a reference style sheet. You have it there, style sheet.css. If I have this one inside another folder, let's say I create a separate folder for all my style files, I'm going to put it inside CSS folder. So in that case, I have to say CSS style.css. Once I have my style sheet separately like this, I can use all those styles that let's say my name is Dilani. Now inside this CSS style sheet file for H3, I have color red and text align center. So this style, this will take that style, right? Okay. Is it clear? How can we have external style sheet? Okay, let's save these two and run it and see. Okay, see? This is how this external style sheet works. Now this is my index file. There I have H3. My name is Dylan. And then in my head tag earlier for internal style, we have like internally we have like our internal style, right? And then in href, we have the reference to our path to where we have our style sheet is, right? Okay. Yes, we put the name of sheet we save as href, the reference. Href is the place that we put the name of the file we save, right? Okay. Okay. So this is the same thing that like I did, right? So we have all this content inside this CSS file and we have it separately. Yes, we can link 100 of CSS files. If you want to have more CSS file, you can have it like this. So what you have to do is like, you can just give references to them. Let's say style sheet 2, and then you have another style sheet 3. Like that, you can have any number of style sheets, right? Okay. Okay, so this fourth part, the pseudo classes, Yes. Okay, let's say now in one particular element, we want to select a part of it, right? For like one particular paragraph, we want to select part of it. For an example, let's say for this one, for this example, we want to select first line, and then we want to apply a style only onto this first line of this particular paragraph. Now to the whole paragraph we know, but only to the particular set of this paragraph, like first, let's say you want to apply this style only to the first line. So in that case, you can have these pseudo elements, right? Okay, but there's a limitation on that. We have some limitation with this pseudo because like normally the first line is, you can use the first line of element to add special effect to the first line of the text. So that is the first line. But you can see the output, the first line is something more. That means what this browser does is like whatever the portion that display as the first line on the screen, it takes that as the first line, not actually the first line. Normally the first line has to be the one ended with this stop sign, right? But here with this one, because like it identifies as a first line, so whatever the screen takes. Now here, since this screen is this size, it takes this one. Let's say in a mobile phone we are running this one, so it will be only up to this. So whatever the screen takes as a first line, you can give different colors. So that one is very important. Normally, like basically, like if you're doing like promotions or things like that, right? So any device, the first line going to be, you can apply different style for the first line or second line or third line, right? So this is important to having pseudo lines, right? Pseudo elements. This is one way of doing it. Okay, so you can use it for first letter, first line, first child. That is something that we are going to use much, right? But first link, visited, poor, this I think something that you are familiar with. Because like when some website, once you click onto one particular link, it changes the color, right? Once you mouse over on the particular link, it changes to a different color. Even this lit website, your course web also, it has different, like mouse over different pattern, right? Once visited, different pattern. So how we can do that is like this. So A means the anchor or the link, right? So this is how you give color to the link, right? So if anchor tag with link A colon link, this is how you give the color. And if some particular links are visited, that means you clicked on that particular links, then the color of that link change, right? So this is how you mention it. A visited. So a hover means once you mouse over it, right, it changed the color. And then active. Now let's say like there are 10 links. Now you are in the second link, right? So that second link, that is the active one, it's in different color. So all these style patterns and everything you are going to use on your website, web application, you are going to use these things, right? Okay. Okay, so this exercise one. So yes, I don't want you to, yes, this one is okay, like I'm not going to check, like I think this is very obvious, you can do this one. But there are more selectors in this pseudo selectors and pseudo elements. You can learn more about that by using this below link, right? So like let's say to have very interactive website or web application, the things that we learn during the class labs, that is also okay. But to do more, to learn more, you can always go to these sites and learn new techniques and new codings with CSS and all. You can go to these ones, right? Okay. Yes. Okay, and then there are some thing called, I think you have heard it, web fonts, right? So there are some custom fonts only for that particular website. For Firefox, you have some set of different fonts. For Chrome, you have set of different fonts, right? So the CSS3 web fonts, like you can even use them. You can download them and you can use them. So this is the link for this one. So these are student, these additional things that anyone like who like. Actually, we expect all of you to do some additional work, but by your own, right? Apart from the things that we teach you in the lecture, something more. If you can learn something more, because this area is very huge. HTML, if you say CSS, it could be like you can learn about that as a like one subject like throughout the year. There are so many things in there. So we want you to have like it's okay to have whatever we teach you, learn them, but as well as that, if you can do some more work by yourself, right? That is very important. Like normally in your first year, you don't like, since you are in your first year, you don't, I think now, normally you are not doing that much of a self-study, right? The research and all these things by yourself, doing studies by yourself. But normally when you come to your third year, when you finish your second year, when you come to your third year, like 70% of the work, it's like this. You have to do it by your own, right? We are just giving you the guidance. Okay, you can go to this and you can study this. You can go to that and you can study this, like that. So if you practice it, starting from your first year, it will be very beneficial for you, right? Okay, so these are like additional materials which you can refer if someone wants to be like on the web development side, or if someone wants to be on web designing type. So these are for you. Okay, so these are some other links where you can get the color codes, like how you can get gradients, backgrounds, and all. So most of them are, you're going to practice them on the lab classes as well, right? Animations and all these things, you can go to these workshops and you can have a look. So many references, right? Okay. Are we done with the lecture? No. Yes, lecture size is still not uploaded because I should do that. I'll do that. Okay. Shall we try this one? Okay. Can you make this H1 and paragraph font color red? How can we do that? H1 and first para. Now let's say H1 and all the paras, or H1 and all the paras in this page in color red. How can you do that? Type the code and send. Only the styling part, only type the style code, right? P or whatever, like this. Sorry. Like this, what is the code? All the P content, all the content inside P tag and H1. Starting from P, or how can you do that? Font color red. Come on, it's just one line. You can do it just within one line. Yes, Heshan, very good. H1 comma P, color red. Using ID also you can do that, but the way that Heshan mentioned here, that's also correct. I think we didn't discuss this one, right? Like with comma separately, we can have even different tags together, H1 and P. If two different types of tag, if all of those tags need to have same particular style, we can have it like this. H1 comma P, color red. But if we want to have only one para and H1 red, can we use this one? One para and only H1. First para and H1. How can we do that? Anyone? Yes, class. So if we only want to have paragraph itself in color red, we have to use ID. But if we want to have paragraph, first paragraph and H1 heading, we can have class. So how can we have it? Let's say dot new class color red. Then for P, class equal new class, and then for H1 also class equal new class. Right? Okay, now here what we have done, H1, if you want to text transform to uppercase, you can do it with text transform uppercase. And if you want to capitalize it, text transform capitalize, what will happen? First letter of each word get capital. If you say uppercase, everything converted into uppercase. If you say capitalize, only the first letter of each word get capitalized. Right? Okay. Now, students, once we create these websites, there's this validator websites, right? Once we create that one, by pasting our web URI here, we can check whether our website is actually valid. Right? All the content and everything, whether we enter there is valid or not, we can check that one. That with this validator, you can check that. And normally, when we are creating a website in industry, once we finish that one, before giving that to a QAs, we have to validate that one by doing. This is one tool that we used earlier days. Now there can be many new tools. So with this one, it says now your style tag is not closing properly, or your P tag is not closing properly, all the errors and everything, it gives a report, right? So we have to correct that report before we are giving to that website or web application to the client. Okay. Now that is all about CSS. Questions, question time. Did you get that spreadsheet to mention your ID and your group? Did you get the groups by now, or still it's pending? Do you have a group now? Are you made groups? Okay, so that I can get that, no? Okay, so if you made your groups, do you have titles for your projects? Titles are given? If so, we can get ready for the first assignment. And also I have a little announcements to make. Not next week, week after. Week starts from 8th, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that week. Yes, I'll publish the notice. However, on the course, we probably will not having any IWT lectures that week, because we are having some final year presentations, 8, 9, and 10. Since 8, 9, 10, we can't have any IWT lectures. I don't think that we can do the Thursday one and Friday one as well. So, however, I'll publish that one on the course web. Just no lectures tomorrow. You don't have any lectures tomorrow. What else? I'll check whether you have the topics. So if you have the topics, we can arrange the first assignment submission part. Any questions, students, you have? So best place to practice this CSSE is go to W3 school, right? There you can find HTML, and then there's a page, separate section for CSS. And with that editor, you can just change it and you can see how these changes happen. But the only thing is you can only try internal styles and inline styles. To check the external styles, you can't do it with W3 school. You have to do it with your PC, your machine. Okay. Yes, I'll upload lecture sites today. Next week, let's have some kind of quiz or something interesting, right? Since this week we have a lot of coding to do, like we don't have sufficient time to do fun activities. Sorry for that. Do you have tutorial uploaded there on the course web? That's also not there. Tutorial 3. It's not there, no? Okay, let me upload that one, download it. Okay, tutorial 3 is there. Can you start doing that? That's very easy compared to things that we discussed today. I think you can easily do that one. Even now, you can finish it. You can copy and paste this code, right? You don't need to type it one by one. It's very easy task that you're supposed to do. I'll give you some time, right? So if you can do this one correctly, that means whatever you learned so far, these 3 lectures and everything we learned with IWT so far, that you are very good at it, right? Okay. Shall we check that one? You can get the tutorial, right? I'll upload the lecture slides as well. It's very easy thing to do. Try to do it in on your editor and or do it in Rubble. Either way, we have time to see first maybe first 5 submissions. Okay, I uploaded the lecture slides as well. You can have your CSS file and HTML file there on the repo, right? Remember, we can add files and even we can add images there. First, do it on your local machine and then copy them there, drag and drop it to their repo location. first part done. Where are we now? Change the font color of test file into red and paragraph background color into pink. Then display 3 paragraphs in test. At 5th one, very good. Okay, anyone able to finish this one? Now you must be like, it has been almost 2.5 hours and this is still asking us to do coding kind of situation. No, right? Okay. This is for your own good. Okay, confused at the 6th one. Display 3 paragraphs in text CSS1.html and text CSS2.html in 3 different colors, namely red, green, and blue with same background color. Okay, now you have like 2 different HTMLs and 1 CSS. Now you have to have 1 paragraph in CSS1 HTML, no, 3 paragraphs in text CSS1 HTML in green, red, and blue colors with same background color, importing this test.css. How can you do that? Students are tired. You had lectures in the morning as well. How many lectures today? Morning? 1 lecture? 1 lab? 2 lab? How much? 2. 2 lectures in the morning. 8:30 to 10:30 and then another one. This is the 3rd one. 1 lab, 1 tute. Okay. Then you must be tired. But the good news is tomorrow is a holiday now. So if you finish this one with little bit furthermore work, then you end holidays are a gift from God. Okay. So that's a good way of thinking, right? Everything is a gift from God. So if you can finish it like finishing Thursday in style, and then you can go to Friday with happy mood, right? I did all the work I supposed to do in this week. This weekend, here I come. Like that. You don't have any work on the weekends, right? Okay. Anyone able to finish this one? So next week, since we did 2 weeks of Kahoot, let's try something else. Something else online. And I promise you next week it will be more of good interactive stuff than today. Yes. But coding should be very like something that you enjoy, right? That should be your doing coding should be something that you really enjoy, right? Like that's because you do this IT, right? Because especially if you are like if you are going to do software engineering as a specialization, like having good hand on coding is a must. Even if you are doing IT also, the good coding, like you have to be very speed and very good coder in order to succeed as a IT professional. Even if you are planning to do academic work, no matter what is your future target is, like since you are getting an IT degree, the coding is like your a backbone, right? So it has to be something that you must really be good at. So if you struggle with it, if you feel like you're struggling with it, like the only option is do more coding, right? That is the only option. To overcome the struggle of coding, do more coding. So that's something that you can't just memorize it. You can't just read and keep them in your mind. You have to practice it. You have to type it. You have to run it. That's how you can be mastering coding. There's no other way. You can't just memorize coding, right? The long tag open, P, space, class equal, double quote, like that. You can't do that, right? So how you can memorize this coding is by practicing it. Okay. No one able to do that? Okay. Whatever you have done, you can share it with me. So the third part, then I can explain. Okay, let's say what it says one by one. Now you have 3 paragraphs, right? Now it asks you to create 2 pages, test underscore css1.html, test underscore css2.html, right? Then it says change the font color of test css1.html into red and background color into pink. Right, that is on test CSS1. Then test CSS2 display 3 paragraphs in test CSS2 in 3 different colors named red, green, and blue with same background color pink. Okay. Now here, since the background color is pink, you do not have to have it with each and every P1 IDs. You can have it with P. So because all the paragraphs are going to have that pink color background. So what you can do with just with pink, just with para tag, you can say P background color pink. Because everywhere, each and every file, the background color of the your paragraphs are pink, right? Right. Then you can give different IDs to each paragraphs, and then you can give different colors to those paras, right? It's very easy now. Third one, it says display 3 paragraphs in text of CSS 1 and 2, 3 paragraphs in 3 different colors. So what you can do is you need to have external CSS, right? See text of CSS, you copy all the styles there. So you can have ID or class for this red para, green one and blue one. And with same background color for all the paras, we are having same background color. So you can have this code there. And you can either have dot P1 color or something. Then you can say what? Color. What are the colors? It says color red. Then dot P2 color green. Dot P3 color blue. Right? Very easy. Then you can give reference to that external CSS. Now here I am adding classes. You can even add IDs as well. Right? Okay, come on. If you really want to make my weekend a good one, at least one person please submit a finished one, right? Okay. Maybe the way that it explained in the tutorial may confuse you. There's nothing much actually. Okay, this one. Okay. Yes, Senara. Yeah, send the REPL link. I'll check what is the issue there. Okay, now this is whose one I am referring to? Ishan. So you need to add this one into a separate style sheet. Now I created a style sheet there and I copied your styles here, right? Then in my style sheet, I gave link to this one. Now it's working. But you have to have two files, right? You need to have two files. You have to name it first one as text.css1.html. So let's rename this one. This is the first one, and then you need to have another one, test_css1.html, css2, right? It also should have the same content you have here, right? Okay. Then what it says, create two HTML pages. Now we have two of them, and then two of them need to have these parts, right? Okay. Change the font color of test CSS1.html into red and paragraph background color into pink. Now the color of text CSS1.html, it should be red. Now this one, the color should be red. So before I add this one, let me add. So to have it like that, we need to have body and then color red. And then what it says, paragraph background color into pink. That is pink because we have that one on the command style sheet. Then okay. So here on your test one, you don't have anything like this, right? Okay. Oh. Where is that? There's no rule like we can have only one HTML. Now it goes to my report. We have error here. Right. Oh, now it's all went. That because you removed the one that I sent you, right? Okay. Okay. Anyone else able to do this one? So you need to have two separate HTML files like I did here. And then in one HTML file, you need to have all the font color as red. Second one, different colors for each para. So you can have different IDs for that, right? Then third step, it says have all the styles separately in the style sheet. Okay. Since it's almost 5:30, I think it's something that you can do it on your local machine and try it. In Rebel, actually the error that comes because I also editing, the one who sent that Ishan, I think Ishan also editing at the same time. So that was the error. So basically it's, yes, so you need to have 3 files. You have test css1.html, test css2.html, then test.css. External CSS file, right? So complete this one and come when you come in next day, right? The first thing we do next beginning of the next lecture is going to check maybe like 10 of your codes, right? So those 10, like I'm going to choose them, right? So once I say, okay, you share your code, so that particular person has to send that code, right? Okay, so be ready and come. Please come to the next lecture, right? Okay, considering that, please don't skip that lecture. Okay. Yes, let's meet next week, student. Then. Okay, so I hope you don't have any further questions. So let's finish up the lecture. Okay, thank you very much for your participation. See you next week.